Good morning. It is the 20th of September. This is day 2 as a Token 2049 recap. Token 2049 has ended yesterday. So I'm going to go over everything that I've seen, things that I'm bullish for and not bullish for without trying to disparage anybody there. But let's share the screen and let's go through it. So very quickly first, let me just see if I can make this a little bit larger. All right, so just random news. Lookonchain, wallet related to Vitalik, transferred a whole lot of ETH to another wallet. Doesn't mean anything necessarily, but just keeping you in the loop. Now, specifically, of course, I cover Solana for the most part. Still very happy to play on any blockchain which has product market fit, but really, after yesterday and after the last 2 days, the actual ETH asset, I just don't. It looks worse and worse every single day. But we'll go over that a little bit later. So here are some of the things that we caught yesterday, which is really, really good. Some things were better than others. This one here in particular, the argument for Ethereum and Layer 2 solutions was a very good listen, but more so in the fact that there was just such a strong bias against Solana. And it was just very interesting to see. They have a lot, there's a lot of friction between different blockchains when you're on, when you have to go from one to the other and whatnot. And there's just a huge amount of bag bias. Now, every chain is guilty of this. Bitcoin OGs, Solana maxis, ETH maxis. It doesn't really matter, but just the wording of that's quite interesting. I actually recorded it. I put a little clip onto Twitter. My major thesis here is the fact that there are all these different layer 2s, this is properly bearish. And there was more information on that, which I'll talk about in a second as well. Now, this next one that I attended, the Power of Deepin, revolutionizing infrastructure networks. This was very good. So let me just make sure that everyone can see the screen here. Jules from Render. Render is something I've looked into a while ago, but I just couldn't see an easy way to actually use your GPU. So I want to put some more bandwidth into that to see if you can actually go and commit your GPU easily to the network without too much difficulty, because it had a little bit of difficulty. But obviously this token's been around for quite some time. This is a very powerful network, has a huge amount of product market fit, and one of the big dogs in the space. Helium CEO, this was just, there's so much good stuff that he said here, particularly, interject or just change Solana with any other blockchain. So we don't have any bias right now. They moved from their own blockchain to Solana. So let's say they moved from their own blockchain to Polygon. The reasons for that made a lot more sense. And on this occasion, they picked Solana. This was a couple of years ago. And Helium, although, I would never suggest someone use Helium in the US as their mobile phone carrier for two-factor authentication. I'm just saying it's not a good idea. Don't even use mobile phones for two-factor. Use 2FA. But this proper product market fit with Helium, which is really good. Hive Mapper was super interesting as well. If I could have a device that allowed you to go and put in your car and drive around, I would use that. And actually didn't hear much from GeoDNet, interestingly. So I don't know what happened there, if I was just busy with the tweets or whatnot. But overall, far more renewed interest from me in Deepin. I just think you got to be patient. You got to be patient and back 10 likely winners, and some will do well. We missed a lot of the Nexus startup competitions, not because we certainly didn't want to, but just pretty much every single thing did not stay on a schedule. They're over an hour behind. So we missed a lot of these. The update from Solana Mobile, this was fantastic. I'll just quickly show it to you now. So this is a little bit of a blurb on it here. And then this is the page. Now, part of the like the 10K to 100K challenge, which is, you know, separate, not related to token 2049. This is just something where I want to gradually grow up something. It's not financial advice. You can watch it and do what you want, copy what you want. But this is now just $450. It's gone back down to $450. This will be shipping mid 2025, and the phone is pretty cool. Now, aside from, let's say the phone is not as good as the Samsung S24, which is very unlikely that it ever would be, due to the fact of, you know, billions of dollars worth of R&D versus millions. However, and, you know, experience and whatnot, but it has some amazing features which I'm very, very bullish on. And $450, you go and pre-order that, you get it, you get like an NFT, and then that qualifies you for random airdrops from the community. It basically pays for itself if the community looks after you. But then once the Genesis ID is actually, or the Genesis NFT is minted when you get the phone next year, that's when I think we're going to see a crazy amount of positivity coming from there. Plus, you know, the fact that it's, you know, it's still a phone. It's still a very, very good phone. So some features on this that are really cool is obviously like the seed vault wallet, like having a more secure wallet, like an integrated hardware seed, and then fingerprint entry, just double tapping transactions, because with the original Saga, it's, you got to put in a pin, then you have to do your fingerprint. It's just a lot of work. And if you don't know the product market fit for this sort of stuff, it's as simple as, if you develop an app like Telegram, and then all of a sudden it's illegal in the country, it has to be removed. Twitter has to be removed. Whereas if you're allowed to put it on your phone from, you know, a decentralized app store, this is far better for the future in order to keep our privacy private and our freedoms free. Where we went over this, and the statistics, they're fine, the technicality aspects. But it's $450, back down to $450, then it goes up to $500, and then there'll be a higher price. Another really cool thing about this, which I mentioned in this tweet here, so you get 4 months free helium if you're in the US, I guess. And then Helios Labs Airship is very cool. So ZK compression, meaning you can take like a token account and like airdrop someone something that used to cost like $40,000 will cost you under $100. You know, if you're airdropping to 140,000 wallets or something along those lines. So they will have features built into this so that you can just, someone could create a token. They can airdrop it to people if they want to, and they can deploy a pool straight with Meteora, and it integrates with Moonshot from Dex Screener. So although, you know, we may see just a sludge of rubbish tokens again, which we already have seen, but we could see some actual valuable ones, and then you can put them to the community that actually use a device. Maybe they have to claim it by a certain time, maybe, I don't know. Either way, so many things that are shipping really well here, and I think that's really, really cool. The virality of value, meme coins in the attention economy. This was very interesting. Iggy came a little bit late, but she's very tuned in, like very savvy woman, person, but very savvy in terms of, you know, she's a rapper, she's an artist, she's a musician. She's not a crypto degen, but in 4 months, she's been able to absorb a lot. And what she's basically said is, you know, her viewpoint is meme coins are good. And if they're coming from someone with attention, that person could come in to the space, like Katy Perry, create Katy token, their fans could get it. And yes, some of them could be wrecked, or, you know, botters could go and bot them, whatever the case may be. However, they may find interest in other things. And then people that are very anti-meme coins, you know, it can slowly rub off on them. You have to be open to both sides. Ansem, of course, has done very well with just a conviction play. So something along the lines of, if everyone, and Joe McCann also mentioned this, if everyone said something, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, then maybe it's either really bad or maybe it's actually really good. It's one of those strange things where there's probably value in the fact that people are not, that are fading it completely. So for example, he was told Solana is just rubbish, 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 which is what you're going to get, because most of the world is, or the crypto world is more Bitcoin and then Ethereum. They've, you know, larger network effects. They've been here for longer. And then, you know, his portfolio is out-traded many others, most people's, because he bought it so under $20. And that was his thesis. WIF did very well. In terms of the virality of a meme coin, there has to be something, in his opinion, where you can speak to someone that's not in crypto, you show them two things, and you're just like, which one do you like more? A dog with a hat is funny because it's a dog with a hat. If it's something like really well thought out and like it's not actually funny and you have to have an in-joke or whatever, it's only going to attract a very narrow band of people. And Joe McCann, he had a very interesting point where in the previous cycle, and he finds this a lot with traditional investors. He is the founder of Asymmetric. So I guess they take other people's money and they get a return on it. That's what they have to do. That's what they're obliged to do as a company, a for-profit company. But he says he speaks to other investors where they're like, well, we'll go and get the Aave token because they're generating this amount and it could, work out to be this amount, which worked for the previous cycle, but it's not necessarily working right now. So you need to listen more on him. Of course, most of the meme coins, if you back them all, you're gonna lose as well. But there will be proper winners there that just get more attention, and there's more upside for the people in them. Very good stuff there. Now, the other, probably the best thing that I heard, and of course, 100% I have to be honest, I have incredible bag bias here with Solana. But why SOL will flip ETH, from Kyle Samani, managing partner at Multicoin Capital. So I did live stream this. It's probably not going to be the best quality. If you just go to my Twitter, scroll down here, it was just kind of done pretty last minute. But this broadcast right here, this is the live stream of him talking about this. And this was incredibly useful, even if, like, we're talking in terms of the metrics, the metrics that will eventually lead to maybe the price market cap changing. But in terms of all the metrics, so the number of daily active users and the on-chain swaps and the MEV, all those things, this is where SOL will flip ETH, in his opinion. I don't know if we have a time on this, but that's beside the point. The most important and interesting thing here is the fact that it's very good to get a completely different viewpoint, even if you're an ETH maxi, because just Ethereum's looking like it has less and less upside. Vitalik sells his. There's that very cringe video which goes viral of him singing, but like it doesn't make it look like, is this something you really want to invest in? And it's now spread out across so many different blockchains that you're not actually getting this kind of burn. You're not getting this ultrasound money play that they spoke about for quite some time. But the key point of this was actually the fact that, let me just bring myself up full screen here. Oh, there we go. So the key point here is essentially that Ethereum doesn't know what it's going to do. I think this is very important for anybody, and I think this is a good thing that you can use when you're finding out a project. So, quick tangent here. At Token 2049 yesterday, saw a lot more projects and a lot more just absolute rubbish, just bottom of the barrel, how did they even manage to fund a booth kind of rubbish? Now, some will be good and not like target anyone, but some just go with all the buzzwords, decentralized, AI, what are the other ones? Deepin, DeFi, metaverse. You could go and get 15 different buzzwords, throw them all, which is something that happened in 2017 and a little bit last cycle, and it's still being done now, and just screams there's like 50,000 red flags right there. And the point I'm trying to make here is work out what Adapt is trying to do. Work out what their goal is. Ethereum came with this goal to be a world computer that anyone could use. And that was their goal. And then there needs to be a lot more direction. And this is what a point that was made by Joe, and it was, by Kyle, and it was just so on point. We know what Solana wants to be. it wants to be the NASDAQ of blockchains. In other words, hundreds of thousands of transactions per second, being able to read information the same as everybody else. There's no insiders. There'll be insider groups and Telegram chats, but the blockchain will have that data, and there's no delay. That's what Solana is about. Ethereum, it has this big decentralized narrative. It has this big narrative that's going to be all completely anyone can run it. Eventually you can run it on a mobile phone, or you probably can already. You can run it on a Raspberry Pi. You can run all these things. But at the end of the day, like, what is the goal of Ethereum? Because right now, it's been building for 9 years, and it takes 5 years to do this and 7 years for proof of stake. May have the numbers wrong there, but everything just takes so much time. And what's going to happen? Is it going to be another year before this happens or this happens? And I say there's been in Ethereum since 2017. Proof of stake was right around the corner then. And now the token, when you compare it to BTC, it's just been demolished. When you compare it to SOL, it's just been demolished. And we can go and play over there, and that's fine. I want to play on things that we can, definitely like plus EV, we can extract some value. But holding the actual asset just doesn't seem good. This was what was mind-blowingly amazing. And I will get that into a tweet form with all the major points. I'll get someone on that. Okay, let's move on to the next points here. So that's that. And now what do we have over here? Now, some other things that I'm very keen on, and I'm far more bullish on, and I've covered Infinex quite often. They weren't actually at Token 2049 with a booth that I saw, and I actually haven't even run into the team, but I think I'll be seeing them Sunday. But just stuff that's been flicking on Twitter, and also the fact that if you don't know what Infinex is like, imagine it's like a centralized exchange, but it's not centralized, but it has that safety aspect. Be lots of dApps built in. You can go and swap from one thing to another, buy an NFT, do things on chain, but not even getting scammed, getting wrecked. Be very, very hard, because it'll all be trusted, audited protocols, and you won't be able to. It would be permissioned in a sense that you just can't go and ship anything into Infinex. They have to kind of approve it, but you still self-custody your assets, and you still play on the actual blockchain, but with this really clean UI. Now, with them, all I'm saying is put some attention on them. You don't have to go and buy a Patron NFT. It's like, price up to 5,000. You can get it cheaper if it's locked for longer. But just, they have something that I think is very worthwhile, but I will find out more in the coming days. What they do have going on right now, though, is some people can jump into the Patron NFT sale. This is 75% of this wave. There's going to be 100,000. They've been raising millions here. But what you can do is scroll down the front page and go bull run, play this now, and open some packs. You have to decide what's going to go up in value, what's going to go down in value, and then there's a winner every day, and they win a prize. Now, the next thing that I just want to quickly touch on is, part of the 10K to 100K challenge. I have no alpha on UpRock directly. Just a little bit too jet lagged to get to all the meetings. But this token's gone up 13%, but I have been speaking about it for a couple of days. And remember, the VC token value launch was 4 cents. So this is very undervalued. And the unlocks coming up are minor and not happening for quite some time. So I'm going to buy about $300 worth in my 10K to 100K challenge. My realization here is that, people on YouTube, they're going to comment, token goes down, we're losing money. Why isn't the team doing this, this, and this? And these things take time. And, I want revenue generation to be put on so that I feel like redemption. I've backed them from the beginning. I think it has brilliant product market fit to be able to, get data from the hundreds of thousands of devices, feed it back to an AI model and sell that data. But at the same time, we do need a revenue generation. Right now, I think it's very, very affordable. At 5x, 10x or more from here. It's not financial advice, but very, very easy. So I like the look of this. The other thing, and we've kind of missed the pump on this, but Sui spoken about this. Once again, nothing that I saw specifically that I made to at token 2049, but people kind of mentioning it, what's far more relevant. And this token's gone up in the last week like 40%. So it's done very well for a large market cap coin, so number 30. So pretty keen on that as well. Now today is Breakpoint, first day of Breakpoint, so I'll cover that in other stuff. But in general, my viewpoint is there's a lot of things happening out there. Let me just change my screen here. There's a lot of things happening out there. Some things I'm super bullish on, which I've kind of mentioned. But we need to be more patient with the deep end stuff. In general, though, I do feel that like ETH is it's getting a little bit scary to hold the actual asset. It hasn't proven to be very well. Maybe that changes in the future, but I don't see that right now. So that's basically my take home. Cool. I think everything has come through. I don't think there's anything else I need to cover. Regarding the Solana phone, yes, some of you would have pre-ordered it 6 months ago. This is just a reminder for those that maybe you want a second one or third one. If you went and ordered 5 Genesis, if you went and pre-ordered 5 Saga phones initially, then you would have done well. It's not going to be the same kind of return because we're looking at 140,000 supply versus 20,000 supply. But either way, pretty excited for what's happening for the rest of the year. And we've also seen that things have gone up well. Actually, there's one more thing that I just somehow managed to skip. Apologies. Let's have a look at this. Kamino Token. I've been larping on about it for a while now. We added it to our 10K to 100K challenge, and I've just kept on adding it. In the last 2 days, or not even, we're up 30% on the Kamino token. Is this Kamino? Oh yeah. So it's just going really, really well, and I want to see what's going to happen with their call. So I'll cover the call, but remember the actual live stream will be done by crypto.com, so you'll be able to watch and tune in these things as well. My bag here with Kamino is it's just staked. It can always be unstaked, and we can sell it if we want to. But I've got far higher targets than 7.2 cents. But if you want to take some profits, you're welcome to do so. That's all for the live stream. Thanks for tuning in. I'll put a lot more stuff, just like little interviews today that I'm doing at Breakpoint. So watch them on Twitter, and they'll be on YouTube as well. Thanks for tuning in, and catch you tomorrow. Or catch you in these other videos. Cheers.